Give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do you want to lose your league?
Our league, check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
And best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves.
What up? What up? What up, world? Welcome to the Get Right Fantasy Network with me, Mike Herrick, aka Classic Mike. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope everyone enjoyed their time with their families. This is our Week 13 active and inactive show. I'll be going over news and notes since our Friday show. Then at around 11:30 or so, I'll give you guys the actives and inactives, or when the news comes in. Usually get it throughout the show. I'll give you guys, if you have any start-sit questions leading up, make sure you guys put them in the chat. I'll try to get to them throughout the show. Of course, I'm going to get to them. And then we also have our super chats available for those that want immediate responses. I'll stop the show just for you to answer your question first. But go ahead, drop your questions in the chat. I'll try to get to I'll get to them as we go. Please be sure to include your league size, type of scoring, half, full, tight end premium, things like that, just to help me get a better understanding of what your particular situation is. For those that are new to the show and watching for the first time, this is our weekly schedule. We are here every day of the week, ladies and gentlemen. We are also here on Saturdays as well. So we have a show tomorrow, which will help you with waiver wire ads. Tuesday, we got Tycoon in the Boardroom, as well as Wednesday. This Wednesday might not be a buy low, sell high type show, but it will be one to help you with your roster. Phil will also be there with his Dynasty show. And then Thursday, we also have Phil on the extra point doing his prop betting leading up. And then Friday, we have our two start-sit shows, one for East Coast, one for West Coast, if you will. So let's get into some of the injury news from throughout the league, just to give you guys some, a good idea what's going on so far. Austin Eckler, Tyron Smith, and J.K. Dobbins. All three of these guys are going to be headed to IR. They're going to be out for the next 4 weeks, unfortunately. Cedric Tillman for the Browns, he's going to be ruled out for Monday night. He is still going through concussion protocol, so he will not play. Trevor Lawrence, who was questionable with his left shoulder AC joint, he's going to play. It's his left shoulder. They've been working him out all week. He's not going to be 100%, but they're going to definitely try to get him out there. They say that he plans to play. Coach Penderson said that he's gonna. Alec Pierce, he's expected to play, playing through a foot injury. Bills have activated Matt Milano off of injured reserve. Good for Matt. Glad to have him back. He's, I think, 420 days or something like that removed from his injury. Glad to see him back playing for Buffalo. James Conner signed a 2-year extension. That's awesome for him. Good for him. He's 29 years old, going to be 30 soon. So the Cardinals signed him for a 2-year extension. Devontae Smith for the Eagles is listed as questionable with a hamstring injury. May work out on Sunday to see if he can go. But sources tell Mike Garafolo there is not a lot of optimism that he'll be out there. Philly will leave it open. There just isn't a ton of positivity when it comes to him playing. So it looks like, for me, it feels like Devontae Smith is going to be out. That is a later game at 4:30. I don't want anything involved with that if I can avoid it. Another bit of news, Breece Hall is expected to play today. So sources tell CSNY TV that was very much in doubt leading up until, I think, Friday or Saturday. Hall suffered a pretty significant injury in against the Colts, much more than the team let on. Initially thought he would miss a few weeks. Testament to Hall that he was been able to fight back to play, not miss time. Connor Hughes gave this news just a little bit ago. All right, boys and girls. So let's get to your questions. That's all the news and notes that I have, other than a couple of left tackle news where, Cameron Robinson will play. Cam Little, I think, got a extension. Little things like that, but nothing out of the ordinary. We got Joe in the house. What's going up, Joel? Hope everything is going well. Hope you had a wonderful holiday. He's like, I'm ready, kind of. Big week. Need to win to get in and lose from 2 to clinch division. All right. So he's rolling his sleeves up to get ready, saying good morning. Buenos Diaz. What's going on, Marcos? Great to have you here. Is playing Purdy. Okay, Smitty. I'm very not into playing Purdy today. If you have a better option, I might use it. Marcos goes, Rodgers or May, 4-point passing touchdown. Gross. In my particular rankings currently, both are pretty low. I have Aaron Rodgers at 26. I have Drake May at 20. I will say it's going to be it's going to be very windy in New England. A little bit of wind also at MetLife. I'm going to go with May just because of his rushing floor. I think that's just a better place for you if you're looking to go with a guy like that, especially with the ability to rush it in too. So I'm going to go May here with that. Joe goes, how do you feel about tonight's snow game? I have Allen and need a win. Darnold is my backup. So I've been wrestling with this all week. Not going to lie. I have a guy. I have Josh Allen, and I also have Baker Mayfield. I feel a lot better about Baker in his situation than I do in a situation with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold going against Arizona. Arizona has been okay recently. They have a really good pass rush as of late. Arizona has actually been number 1 against QBs the last 4 weeks since week 8. They've actually been the number 1 defense against QBs in the last few weeks. So that tells you something. They've been playing very well, only allowing 214 yards overall, on average. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Even though their defensive ranking overall is pretty low, I don't like changing to, you're going down like 2 tiers there instead of Baker, who's like right next to him in rankings. I think I would stick with Allen and I would stick it out because at that point you at least have his rushing floor to play with. So I think, I'm sorry, Smitty. Is he playing? Yes. Brock Purdy is playing. He is expected to play today. My bad. He is playing today. But yeah, I would go with Allen in this one. Neanderthal, what's going on, brother? Great to have you here as always. Hope all is well with you and yours as well. Joe confirming what I said. Marcos, he goes Njoku or Otten PPR. I'm going Otten. It's Otten until further notice. I don't trust Njoku in that offense. Jameis Winston likes to spread the ball around, which is completely fine, but it sucks for fantasy in some ways. And Njoku hasn't really been involved in that capacity. They've really dumped it to guys like Jordan Akins, and Jerry Jeudy and Elijah Moore. So for me, I feel a lot more comfortable with Otten being the number 2 in, where the Bucs are, going against the Carolina Panthers, who haven't been great as of late. And against the tight end, they're even worse. They are 31st against the tight end the last 4 weeks. So I'm going to be going Otten. I'm probably going to be moving him up, and I think I have him at like 4 at tight end. No, I have him at 6. So I might even move him up above Taysom Hill here, who I have at 5. So if you guys ever want to see my rankings or need a little bit of guidance with my rankings, you guys can go to getrightff.com. That's where my rankings are at all times. So you guys can always check it out there if you ever need it. Joe goes, going to be all Barkley in that game anyway. Y'all, for the Eagles game, yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of Barkley. Marcus goes, Gus Edwards or James Conner? Conner is going against the Vikings. Vikings have been very good against the run, especially the last few weeks. Atlanta, not so much. Atlanta last 4 weeks is currently, I'm still scrolling, is 29th against the run. I like Gus Edwards in this matchup. They like to run the ball. Gus has been playing well. James Conner has been having a rough time the last few weeks. So for me, I feel a lot better about that, matchup overall. So Gus Edwards in this particular grouping. Man, that's tough to say too. Justin, what's going on? He goes Star Cooker London. Man, that's an even better one. That's a good one. San Francisco is currently last 4 weeks has been a little underwhelming. They're 23rd against the running back the last 4 weeks. Or no, that's my bad. I had to readjust them. Hold on. They are, come on. There we go. San Francisco has been 29 or 28th against the running back the last few weeks. They've actually been run on a bunch. That game, I'm telling you, is going to be very gross. I definitely think it will be a lot more of a run game overall. London, I like a lot, but in this particular situation, I think Chargers have been okay. They fared well. No, they're actually low. Man, that's a good question. They're going to definitely be targeting Drake a lot in this game. I'm assuming if it's full PPR, I might lean London. If it's half, I would lean Cook. I think that's my best answer I can give you with that. Yeah, I would definitely do that. The Smitty, he goes, you wouldn't play Purdy today. I'm in a 2 QB league. My other QBs are Stafford and May and Young. I would play Purdy over May and Young. So, I mean, you're definitely playing Stafford. Stafford's the constant in that particular scenario. So, yeah, I'm going to play Purdy in that grouping. Okay, so he says full. So, yeah, I might lean Drake London here. They're playing at home. They're playing in a dome. A lot less going on there. Nick Bosa is out for the San Francisco 49ers. James Cook is going to definitely be running that ball a lot. That's a tough one for me. For me, the way I've normally looked at it, pass catching running backs get a bump when it comes to full PPR for me. And I'd rather use them in my flex other than Drake London. I mean, you're in a good spot having to use London as a flex spot, to be fair. So for me in this particular scenario, man, Cook's more guaranteed touches comparatively to London. So that's where I'm in between. They're definitely going to be dumping it down more. They're definitely going to be running the ball. I know that means they're going to, get Ray Davis involved. Man, it's a tough one. I'm going to go Cook. I'm going to stick with London. Keep it indoors. Weather usually sometimes is the defining factor for me. But for running backs, the weather doesn't really matter. Jonathan, what's going on, brother? Great to have you on the show today. If you guys are new, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. He goes Purdy or Stafford. I'm probably going to go Stafford here. Going against the Saints. Saints the last few weeks have not been doing what they should. Their defense has looked abysmal. They did lose Marcus Lattimore. Saints are currently, where are they on my list? Saints are middle of the pack, like 18th against QBs this year. But that doesn't matter. Stafford's going to, can put up 300. They got a couple pieces on their line back. Purdy's just banged up, guys. You have to remember Purdy's also going to be without Trent Williams and their left guard as well. That's going to be tough. He's also playing I think it's his right shoulder. I got to look again. I think it is his right shoulder though. He's been playing through an AC joint thing and yeah, he got a full practice Friday. I'm going with Stafford. Let's, definitely go with the guy that is healthy and he's playing indoors. I like that way better. Way better. The Smitty goes start 2 and pick 1 for the flex. All right. So we got DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Tank Dell, and Otten. Wouldn't normally tell you to put a tight end in the flex, but I think I will. I'm going to tell you to put K9 in the flex here. DK, I think you need to start regardless. Going against the Jets, I know it's a tough matchup for him. McLaurin or Dell. This matchup against the Jaguars is tricky. Jaguars have actually played the Texans pretty well at home and are pretty good against them in general. They have a good pass rush overall. The line has gone down about 1.5. So it's at 3.5 right now. Over under went up. So I kind of do like Dell in that matchup. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Dell and DK and Otten. Otten is definitely in. I think you can't not play Otten in any scenario, to be quite honest. Marcus goes DK Metcalf or James Conner, full PPR. Both have touch match. Yeah, no, they definitely both have really tough matchups today. I don't hate DK against the Jets. Full PPR. Yeah, I have to lean Metcalf there, Marcos, just because of that. James Conner is going to be involved. Yes, he got his 2-year extension, like I said before. They're definitely going to use him. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a tough matchup against Minnesota, who has been doing very well at shutting down the run the last few weeks. This particular offensive line does not bode any confidence in any way, shape, or form. If it was a little bit more of a, if I thought Arizona's line was better, I would definitely think James Conner's the guy, but no, I'm going to go Metcalf and go with that. Justin goes, I need this week to make the playoffs. It's hard, man. Yeah, man. I hear you, brother. I'm currently first and second in 2 of my big money leagues that I'm in. I wouldn't say big money, but my big leagues that I play in, my home leagues. And believe me, I have matchup troubles too that I'm still working out. I have Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield. That's the big one. I'm playing Baker at this point. I feel more confident in that matchup weather-wise, and I think he's a good pivot for that particular matchup. But these wins, definitely help, get me in because our playoffs are week 15. So not next week, but the week after, because it's 10-team. We go into week 15. So I need 2 weeks to win and stay, ahead because a lot of our teams are pretty, it's been crazy in one of our leagues where, the top is only decided by 1 game right now. And I think to get in is also the same. I think we have like 2 or 3 teams that are 7-5, I think. And yeah, it's been pretty crazy all over the place. Will Hayes, what's going on, brother? Great to have you here. He goes, Disley or Henry, full PPR? That's a great question. I think Henry might be a good choice today. Where is he? Going against the Colts? Let me just double check my math because I definitely have Henry. Yeah, New England is no. Colts are. Where are they? They must be middle of the pack, 18. Disley going against the Falcons. Falcons secondary, man, is better than you think. But at the end of the day, Simmons and Bates haven't really been playing the way that they should be the last 4 weeks. I have them ranked currently in my rankings. Hunter at 14, Disley at 16. So they're right next to each other. I'm going to go Hunter here. Hunter Henry. He has a good matchup. Drake May tends to check down to him a ton. I can definitely see that being a better option. Will Dissly's been involved, of course, in the last few weeks with Justin Herbert playing well. I feel a little bit safer with Henry. I think upside if you need it. If you went against DJ Moore, Rico Dowdle, and Tua Tagovailoa or something like that, then I might play Dissly. But I think Henry's a safer play overall. Yeah, Joe's go with Cook. Yeah, we're kind of split on that decision, but I don't hate Cook in that matchup. I think you're that's just really tough either way. But I do like both in that matchup. But I'd rather have the dome overall. Murray or Darnold, 4-point passing touchdown. I'm going to have to go Murray in that situation. I like Darnold, but I think Murray is a little bit in a better situation overall. In the dome, playing against Minnesota, tough defense. They love the blitz, which means a lot of man coverage, which means a lot of running for Kyler. So I see that being a very fruitful matchup, if you will. Jason, I have this conundrum as well. Something similar. So Jason goes, Burrow plays Pittsburgh, the hardest pass defense. I also have Baker Mayfield. Should I put in Baker? Carolina, bottom 5. Yeah. I'm not against doing that. I have Burrow at 4, Baker at 5. When it comes to those particular, in my rankings, when it comes based to that type of stuff, I always go with the guy that's a little bit in a better situation. In this case, Carolina's defense is the deciding factor. I have no problem playing Baker today in most situations. Joe Burrow I have Joe Burrow playing over a guy like Bo Nix, who I've been playing Bo Nix the last few weeks and playing well. But I do think Joe Burrow can do well against Pittsburgh. He knows them well enough to know what to do. Their offensive line is horrible. He's been sacked way more than he should be. But they do play a lot more man coverage, which definitely helps guys like Jamar Chase. So in this particular situation, I don't think Burrow's a horrible option, but Baker has a better matchup for sure. Carolina has been beatable. So I'm gonna pivot to Baker in that situation. You're lucky you have a situation like that. A lot of people don't. And it's smart that you're thinking ahead. Patrick Lario goes, yo, Big Blue, what's going on? Patrick, he goes, so my lineup this week, self-explanatory with projects, but maybe someone has some ballsy picks. So Taysom Hill or Ertz and JSN or Jordan Addison or Leggett. Damn. For me, it's going to be JSN for sure. I really like JSN in that particular situation. And Taysom Hill. I think it's Taysom Hill until further notice. They've been saying that they want to get him way more involved in the passing game, or way more involved in the game in general. I have Taysom ranked 6th and Ertz at 18. So for me, I'm definitely going to go JSN and Jordan Addison. I don't care if both Lockett and Metcalf are active. JSN has been heavily involved, full PPR. I would love JSN over Jordan. Jordan's been involved, and Justin Jefferson has been underwhelming the last few weeks, but he's been a professional about it. But I think that there's underlining stuff. It's like, hey, give me the damn ball. I'll say everything you want me to say. Give me the ball. But yeah, I do like JSN in that matchup. Taysom as well. So Marcos goes, Devontae Adams or Terry McLaurin? That's a great question. I do like Devontae just a smidge more. Titans have a good defense overall. Let's see what I got here. My initial reaction is I really like Devontae. Titans have been 6th best against wide receiver the last 4 weeks. Jets let's go with Seattle. Seattle has been 21st. That's a big gap for me. I'm going to go with Devontae Adams here. Safer bet. You know that Rodgers loves him. And Terry McLaurin tends to be volatile. You can either have 20, 30 points or like 3 based on the matchup, who he's going against. Tennessee's been playing better. They have a good pass rush. Yeah, I'm going to go Devontae here. We're going Stafford there. The Smitty, he goes 1 QB league, Stafford or Purdy. It's Stafford. Any given week, I'd probably tell you to go Purdy, but AC joint, he's hurt. He's playing in bad weather. I don't like that at all. And he's lost his left half, which is his, that's the weak side that he's got to deal with. That's not good. I'm definitely going with Stafford here. Jonathan, you're giving me another one. Okay. He goes, here's a tough one. Pick 2 running backs and a flex. Connor Pollard, Rashid White, Najee, and Juwan Jennings. Half PPR. Interesting. I'm going to have to lean. I think I'm going to lean Tony Pollard for one of them. Just heavily involved. Washington is middle of the pack at 17. I like White too. I think it's definitely White for sure. I like White a lot in this matchup, just overall. So White is definitely going to be playing. It's hard for me to play Connor. Good matchup. Najee against the Bengals. Bengals have been better against the run as of the last 8 weeks. The last 4 weeks. Over the full season, they haven't been. They got BJ Hill back, which has been a huge boost to their defensive line. I can't play Jennings. It's so hard for me to trust Jennings. I know he's going to be involved. The half PPR doesn't move me in one way or another in this particular case. Just got word Tajay Spears is going to be involved. He's good to go today, so he cleared protocol this week. My gut reaction is Pollard, Rashad White, and it's between Connor and Harris. And if I'm playing between those two, it's got to be James Conner. It's a bad matchup, but you have Jalen Warren behind Najee. You don't have really anybody behind James Conner. You can tell me Trey Benson until you're blue in the face. Until I see it, until I see a huge ramp up in his particular snap count, no. It's James Conner. They're going to want to show off their guy. So yeah, I'm going to go James Conner, Pollard, Rashid White. Rashid White. I think that's probably your best bet. That's a tough one though. Thanks, Jonathan. Really appreciate that question. So Jason goes, well, he's always scored less than 20 points against Pittsburgh. Bro never does good. Yeah, man. That's the tough part. I'm playing him because I have no other choice. Like, I don't like doing that in my scenario. Bo is playing against – he's been playing real good football. But the last few weeks, Detroit hasn't been horrible. Well, they have been, it looks like. So I can't not. Like, I'm still fighting this demon, trying to figure out which one I want to do. It's hard not to play a guy like Burrow. He's throwing like crazy. They do have a good secondary. So it is a rough one. It really is. But yeah, if you have Baker to pivot to, you're playing Baker for sure. So Joe goes, I just realized I got Allen going in 3 leagues and I need a win in all 3. Hey man, I still feel confident in Josh Allen to do well. It's just, if I have a better matchup, I'm taking it. Like, I'm not gonna be cute about it if I don't have to be. But if I have the pivot option, I'm taking it. Why not? But if not, go with Allen. He'll be fine. You'll be fine. Jason goes Rashad White, Ramondre, or Taysom flex full PPR. And I can only pick one of those guys. Man, you guys are giving me the questions today. I really appreciate this. I love when you guys do this. So Rashad White is probably going to be my answer. Bucky's going to get his share. Taysom's going to get his as well. Or not Taysom, Rashid White. So Bucky and Rashid are both going to do well in against Carolina, I think. He's definitely used out of the backfield more. You're going to see him get more passes than he will be rushing. But he's been playing well as of late. I like it. Ramondre is in a decent matchup. They're going to have to run the ball. He'll get a ton of volume, but I just don't trust it more than White. And Taysom, I love Taysom Hill as a full-on. He's one of my favorite football players to watch. Honestly, he's honestly the definition of football. He really is. So I like him, but it's hard to flex him. Tight end, a tight end being flexed is real tough for me in most situations, unless it's like Scott Fishbowl where he's basically a RB2 or higher. I rather go with the guarantee here, and that's White. Yeah. So Neanderthal goes Superflex. I have Purdy or Taysom. Do I have to play Brock here? Have no other options. If you're playing Taysom as a quarterback, I don't hate that option. Yeah, I might do that. I mean, let me look at the way that my rankings go. Let me see how they work out for Superflex. Let's see. I have Brock at 50 or 45 and Taysom. Oh, okay. Taysom's way lower on there based on those Superflex rankings. Yeah, Taysom's at 109. But I don't hate this matchup for him against the Rams. Are they that far off? Yeah. Yeah, I would probably play Purdy then. I mean, I have Purdy ranked currently 27. Taysom at 5 for tight end or 6 at tight end. Yeah, I would play Taysom. Go for it. Why not? Can't go wrong. You can't have anything bad happen, right? I know Jamal Williams is back, so he might see a little less running than he normally does. But the coaches have been talking him up, all week. If your league has anything to do with, receiving yards or return yards or things like that. Return yards. I would definitely use Taysom. But, yeah, I think Taysom would be a good choice. I think the Bills are going to be in a really good spot. Home field, snow. They're just going to be a lot better than people. I think people are really going to be, I think it's going to be a really fun matchup. So tough question here. All right, Marcos. He goes Bucky Irving, James Conner, Gus Edwards, or Tony Pollard. Pick 3, full PPR. All right, it's Bucky. Bucky is number 1. Gus is number 2. Good matchup. Going against Falcons. Real easy matchup. Tony Pollard is probably going to be my next one. Yeah, I'm going to go Pollard. So Bucky, Gus, Pollard is the 3 I would go with. Joe thinks the other way. Go with Purdy here. Taysom is a risk. He is a risk, but I do think that it's a good risk. It's one of those, risk reward type scenarios, and his reward is quite big. Dylan O'Bus, what's going on, man? How you doing today? Hope you had a wonderful holiday. Danzel Barton, what's going on, Danzel? He goes Gus, Chubb, Jennings, Cooper, McNicholas. 1 RB, 1 flex. All right, so Gus, Chubb. I'm going Gus here. Danzel, what type of league is this? Full, half? I don't want to go Chubb, but I kind of do. Cleveland has been okay. It's full. Okay. Jennings and Cooper, it's tough for me to pick those guys right now. Really tough. Really tough to go against bad elements and things like that. If I had to lean one of them, it would probably be Jennings over Cooper. Yeah, I would go Jennings over Cooper if I had to do that. But Chubb going against the Browns. Browns have been middle of the pack at around 12. Still good against the run. Broncos offensive line, not bad. Or Browns. Oh, no, it's the other way. Sorry. Broncos have been given up. I think I'm going definitely got to go Gus. His matchup's better. Atlanta has been beat up the last 4 weeks. You know, Atlanta is 29th against the running back. And I think I'm going to have to go Chubb. I like Chubb a lot more in this matchup. I haven't gotten any. Oh, here we go. My phone decided to not tell me about actives and inactives, but to be fair, there weren't really a ton that we were looking at. We already knew a bunch. Brees Hall is active, just so you guys are aware. And okay, so that was with CJ Mosley. Okay. CJ Mosley is inactive for the Jets. Load up, Kenneth Walker. Trevor Lawrence is active. Alec Pierce is active. It looks like DJ Chark is active for the Chargers. Alex Highsmith is inactive for the Steelers. So when we were talking about Joe Burrow before, Highsmith is one of those reasons why they've been having a tough time. Or, Joe's been having a tough time. In this particular situation, I don't hate it. Looks like Younghoe Koo is going to be playing as well. I know that seems weird, but I've been following Koo the last few weeks because he's dealing with a hip injury. But just so you know, he is active today. And who else? And then Pop Douglas is active as well. So yeah, the Alex Highsmith is a kind of a big deal for that particular game. I think that kind of puts Burrow up a little bit more in my particular situation. But Baker, I still like better. But it makes me a little happier that I'm playing Burrow in one of my leagues. So if the situation works out for you, yeah, that you can play Burrow. But if you have a pivot option, I'm not against playing that. But for this question, Gus, and I'm going to go Chubb. Denzel goes Sam or Gino. Sam or Gino. Arizona has been great against quarterbacks the last few weeks. Been stopping them cold, playing well. Good pass rush. Gino going against the Jets. Jets have been underwhelming as of late, coming off the bye. They're 28th against the QB the last few weeks. West Coast coming east. East Coast going, or West Coast coming, or no, they're staying. Man, you guys, give me the questions today. My rankings have it where I have Sam Darnold at 19, I have Geno at 18. Let's go Geno. Let's go Geno. Marcos goes, should I play Geno or Winston instead of Allen? No. Play Allen. Play Allen. The only reason why I would be not playing Allen is if I had a guy like, like I said, Baker Mayfield. It has to be Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson, which is not happening for a lot of you, or Justin Herbert because he has a good matchup. Beyond that, I'm pretty not. I have Josh Allen at 6, and it's really just because of my rankings, the way I want to, I want them to land. But the only guys I have above him are Baker, Burrow, Herbert, Jackson, and Jalen Hurts. And there is no scenario that you should have any of those guys above him, is my, where I'm getting at. So Geno and Winston don't even hit that particular goal for me. I mean, Winston I have at 24. I have Geno at 18. They're not even in the same tiers. Play Allen. Allen is, it's going to be a crappy game, but his rushing floor will be great. So it will keep you up for sure. They're definitely going to run the ball a little more. It's going to be windy. It's going to be gross. It's just going to be one of those really bad weather games. The field's going to be clear by then, because from what I'm gathering from a lot of the news networks and, all those people that have been following the game or following the weather leading up to game time, it's going to be just windy. Just really windy there. So I'm feeling a little bit like I'm okay with Allen in those scenarios. He can whip that ball. It don't matter if the wind is 10 miles an hour or not. He can still throw the ball. I feel better about him than those two in any shape, way, or form. Michael Rain, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes, looking ahead to week 14. Smart. I like it. Smart. That's what I've been doing all week. Looking ahead. He goes, Lamar on a bye. Who would you prefer? Caleb Carr, Lawrence, Wilson, or Levis? Gross. My first answer is gross. So let's look at the matchups that we have here, because I haven't really looked in the week 14 yet. But let's look at it. We got Carr going against the Giants. I didn't even have to look any farther. You might want to go Carr there. I might go Carr there out of that. Caleb is going against, where is he going against? 49ers. Nope. Trevor Lawrence going against. Trevor is going against, where is he going? Against the Titans. And not a horrible matchup, but no. And Wilson going against the Browns. Played well against him. Won't be the same type of atmosphere. No, I'm not going to go with it. Will Levis going against the Jags. Not a horrible matchup, but two low-end teams just slugging it out at the bottom of the AFC South. Yeah, I'm going to go Carr. I mean, you're better off going against the Giants. Just pick them off. Enjoy. Have fun. Play against my Giants. No Dexter Lawrence. He's going to be out. Probably out for the season. They're not going to look the same. Load them up. Derek Carr. Done. Danzel goes waivers. He goes Adam, Vili, MVS, Evan, Hill, and Vile. Who are you looking to get off that? And I'm curious, Adam? Who's Adam? Oh, if Devontae Adams is available, grab him. Vili, I like a lot. I like a ton. If Mike Evans is available, you're grabbing him too. If that's Justice Hill, if you have Derrick Henry, you should be grabbing Justice Hill. Oh, thank you for the help. You were scaring me there. Adam Thielen, no, you don't need him. Vili, I like a lot more. Who's Evan? The only guy that I would maybe put in that flex spot is Vili. I like him a lot with Bo Nix recently. He's been playing well, but I will say he's versatile. Vidal, I like as well, but his matchup, his matchup's pretty good, but I'm just a little against it. Ingram, I would probably play Ingram. Oh, Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's available? Who dropped Evan Ingram? You should be picking up Ingram. Yeah, pick up Ingram. Who are you dropping for Ingram first? But yeah. What's your tight end scenario that you can't pick up Evan Ingram? Because I would be picking up Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is who I want. Out of that whole grouping that you just told me, I would take Evan Ingram in a heartbeat. Let's go with this. Marcos goes Disley or Kyle Pitts. I have Disley ranked at 16, Kyle Pitts at 11. The matchup for the Chargers has been, let's see, favorable? No, Chargers are 5th against tight ends as of late. So don't like that. Don't like that. Atlanta has been a little bit more beatable. Let's go Disley in this matchup. Let's go Disley. I like Kyle Pitts. They're coming off the bye, so they might use him a little bit more, try to get him more involved. Derwin James is a phenomenal strong safety and can do a great job with that. So yeah, I'm going to go Will in this case. Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates are great too, but I think that they're going to get him involved as much as they can. I'm going to go Disley here. Ooh, I don't know if you want to do that though. Ooh, it's great that you have Kittle. Honestly, that makes sense that you wouldn't have him, but you actually, you know what? Drop McNicholas, yeah, because this will help you if you're playoff bound. Because Kittle, I love Kittle. He is probably my favorite tight end to watch. He reminds me so much of Mark Bavaro. And just Mark Bavaro is probably my favorite tight end of all time. And I've always had an affinity for that because they play both sides. I definitely want you should definitely get Evan Ingram if he's available. If you can grab him off waivers, if he's like you can add drop off of it and you don't have to put in a claim or anything, go Evan Ingram. Just drop him now, pick up, and you should be fine. That's a huge upgrade to your bench for sure. McNichols I like, but it's just not the same. Not the same for me, especially with Brian Robinson. He's active. So Marcus Go's opinion on Jonathan Brooks. Should he be dropped? All right, here's my 2 cents. If this is a dynasty league, do not drop him. Keep him on your bench. He's fine. If this is a redraft league, get rid of him. Not worth your time. You have 4 more weeks. You have 4 weeks until the end of the year. Technically 3, because this week you're not worrying about, because he's not going to get an increase in touches. Even if he does get an increase in touches, evaluate your particular league. Evaluate your fab situation. If you have a ton of fab, get rid of him. Let someone else deal with it. And if he's still there when you need him, so let's just say something happens, knock on wood, I hope it doesn't, but let's just say something happens and Jonathan Brooks is thrown in. I don't even think he's the lead guy. I think they'll play Miles Sanders over Brooks and lead in Brooks when he's needed. For now, Chuba's the lead guy. He is the man. He is the guy that's going to be the one touching the ball. Jonathan Brooks in redraft should be dropped. Plain and simple. Drop him. It's not worth it, in my opinion. It's not worth holding on to for 3 more weeks. He's not seen an increase in touches. He hasn't seen an increase in snaps. every week. I think he's touched the ball like 5 times in his 3 weeks back or 2 weeks back. So I just don't like it. I think everyone hyped him up a little bit more. I told people at the beginning of the year, do not have, you shouldn't be drafting Jonathan Brooks because he wouldn't be available until early November, mid-November. And that's if he's ramped up by then, which he wasn't because he got hurt at the end of November. And it takes a little more than 9 months. And I think his surgery didn't even happen until like January, if memory served me right, because the swelling needed to go down. So all I'm saying is that in this particular case, I'm dropping Jonathan Brooks. You have better options out there. There has to be better options out there. So that's my opinion. I agree. He's definitely going to be taking up space on your roster. Cut him. Get rid of him. He's done. Oh, all right, boys and girls. Please, if you have any other questions, throw them in the chat. I'm not going to be doing DFS. I rather answer your questions. So if you have questions, throw them in the chat. We've been having great discussion. Love all these questions. Really love what you guys do overall. So keep throwing those questions in there. If you guys are new to the channel or watching for your first time, please check out our affiliate podcast as well. We have the Fantasy Football Tavern with Kendra Vanderbilt, and we also have the Extra Point with Phil Ruskin and Tycoon in the Fantasy Boardroom. These guys are all great. Love having these guys on board with the channel. So please check out our affiliate channels here. Make sure you like and subscribe to them as well as us if you haven't already. Also check out the Sweet Life Football with Cody and Jack. They're doing great things on Saturdays. Gives us a show every Saturday. We're working on other content for you as well on Saturdays as well. So don't worry. We're going to have shows every day of the week if we can help it. So make sure you guys are checking it out. If you haven't already, please check out our sponsor as well, Underdog. Use Get Right as your promo code when you sign up. They'll give you half of your deposit. You put in 10, they'll give you 5. Put in 20, they give you 10. They go all the way up to $1,000. So make sure you guys check out, or no, $2,000. So make sure you guys check out Underdog and use promo code Get Right in states that allow. Joe Ortiz, thoughts on Breece Hall? If you have Breece Hall, you better have Braylon Allen. That's my thought. Okay, so I have Braylon Allen. I could play in his place. He might just get the majority of touches. If you're talking about this week, they've hyped him up enough to say that he'd be involved. My guess is they're probably going to split to a 60-40 more than they would what they normally do. Their normal split, let's look at their normal split. If memory serves me right, their split is 70-30. Let's look at their normal split. Their normal split is 80-20. They only had 70-30 like a couple of times. Braylon Allen hasn't gone above 35% since week 2. I don't think that goes anywhere. I think the closest that it's going to be is the 60-40, and that's a maybe. But I don't think that deters you from playing him, if that makes sense. I think Braylon Allen is fine, or not Braylon Allen. I think Breece is fine for now. Breece Hall, you can play him. I think he's fine. But at the end of the day, it does scare me a little bit. They did say that he had significant knee injury, or it could have been a significant knee injury. He's been ramped up and everything is going on, but you want to make sure you have Braylon Allen, because if God forbid something's tweaked or something's off, yeah, I'd rather have my 60% and, see what happens. It's just good that you have Allen for the future, if you will. Raven Shoyo, what's going on, brother? He goes, Kyle Pitts or Zach Ertz, full PPR. It's a great one. I like this one. I like these questions, guys. Keep throwing them at me. I have Kyle Pitts ranked higher. I have Pitts at 11 and Ertz at 18. I think the matchup's better for Ertz overall. So let's take a look. Titans so far have been putrid. They're 24th. I'm not against playing Ertz in this matchup over Kyle Pitts. Right now, the Chargers the last 4 weeks have been 5th against the tight end. Let's add one more week to it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go Zach Ertz here. This is one of those rare occasions where, most tight ends, unless they're above the top 5, you can pretty much substitute and it's not a huge deal. But I don't mind that move. They've been getting him a lot more involved as of late. Zach Ertz's numbers 8, 7, 8 in targets, catching at least 4 to 5 balls on average. 2 touchdowns last 2 weeks. I like those numbers. Overall, Kyle Pitts has been a little bit underwhelming, unfortunately. He's been 1.63 the last 3 weeks, while he was 8.5, 9.5 from weeks 5 to week 8. He had one good game as of late. Denver was the only bad matchup he had. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ertz here. I think he'll be in a better scenario, especially full PPR. I might have to adjust my rankings a little bit too, to be quite honest. Joe goes, I hope Ertz gets 3 touchdowns from Daniels. Have Daniels in the league. Nice. Hey man, I hope that for you as well. That I don't face you in any other leagues, so that's a good thing. As long as I'm not facing you, you can do whatever you want. Oh, you two are facing off, huh? I'm coming for you in the playoffs. Good for you guys. I love the banter. I love the league banter. So, ooh, that's a tougher one for me. I have all expectations of Goddard being a full go, and to be honest, Ertz, I would probably play Goddard. I'd probably play Goddard, but it's based on who you would be dropping. Think that. Like, it's good to have both, but I would probably play Goddard over Ertz. And Goddard being on the waiver wire is crazy for me. Who are you dropping to pick him up? That's the question. If it's anybody, for me, it's definitely the answer is Goddard, but I want to know who you're dropping first, because if you're dropping somebody worth it, it's not worth it. Then I would play Ertz. But if you have somebody else, Goddard is the guy. He's going to be number 2, and he's going to be the number 2 in targets, in my opinion. Well, number 3 maybe. I'd say he'd be number 3 in targets for the Eagles compared to Ertz, who is 2 or 3, around that. So Marcos goes, this is a great question. I love this. I love you guys. I love when you guys think like this. So what defenses would you recommend for the playoffs? Top 5. Okay. So I have my strength of schedule leading up right now. So based on Fantasy Pros, let's see what we got here. No, I just want the schedule. I don't care about the... Oh, there we go. So let's look at these. All right. So I don't hate the Tennessee Titans, or I don't hate the Indianapolis Colts schedule. Their toughest matchup is Denver. But after that, they have the Titans, the Giants, and Jacksonville till week 18. It's also based on, then do it. Do it. Do it. I would do it. Definitely do it. Where are you? Marcos, don't worry. I'm getting your question. This one's going to take me a minute to kind of analyze here. But based on Fantasy Pros, just to give you an idea of what their top 5 are for fantasy finishes or strength of schedule moving forward. Let me just refresh. Okay. They have Indy, Jacksonville, Bengals, and Buccaneers with Kansas City. Kansas City and Bucks are the 2 that I like the most out of those 5. And they also have Denver a little bit lower on that list. Denver's not a bad end of year team either, but they have a bye in week 14, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. All right. So let's go. Neanderthal, he goes, how do you feel about Kittle? Kind of worried with Purdy doubting going on today. I think Kittle should be fine. They're going to have to check down a lot. He's going to be involved more in a check down scenario. They're going to be running the ball a little bit too. I wouldn't expect the best numbers from Kittle this week, but Kittle is still, I think, a good play in full PPR. And you're saying you're dropping Ertz. Ertz has week 14 bye. Do it. Pick up Goddard. I think that's a good play. Either way, you have Goddard moving forward, and Philly has one of the best strength of schedule with tight ends moving forward. Washington actually has the 6th worst. Go with Dallas Goedert. Done. You made it very clear. I like it. CD Smitty, what's going on, brother? Great to have you here. If you guys are new to the show and you like what you're hearing, please make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Ravens, always a pleasure, my friend. There to help you anytime you need. C.J. Smitty goes Jalen Warren, Jordan Addison, or Michael Pittman Jr. Of all days, this might be a decent day for Michael Pittman, but it is a little windy. I do like Jalen Warren in this particular matchup overall against the Bengals. They're definitely going to involve him a little bit more. This is also based on if it's full PPR or not. So let me know there, CD. Need to know if it's full, half, so I can help you out. Ray W, my big blue brother. How you doing, brother? He goes Daniels or Knicks today. I like it. I have Daniels currently ranked at 9. I have Knicks at 7. After looking at a couple other things, I think I would be going Bo Nix here. Ride the hot hand. Knicks has just been on fire. I know Daniels has been too in his own way, but I do like Bo Nix in this particular matchup. I think Knicks can do well. Neanderthal goes, you have Otten. I might play. I think I like playing Otten over Kittle today. I don't normally play a lot of people over Kittle, but I think I might play Otten. Carolina, better weather, better QB in the context of not hurt. Yeah. Though when I put in those 3 factors and they are in the same tier of full yeah, I'd go Otten for sure. Yeah. Joe agrees. All right, so let's get back to C.J. Smitty. He goes full PPR. If you're only asking me for one, Jalen Warren's the guy. And it's really more based on the fact that I think Jalen Warren is going to be a lot more involved these next few weeks, and especially in this particular game against the Bengals, since he's favored by 3.5, which means his narrative shows that he'll be out on the field a little bit more. Jordan Addison has a good matchup overall. Arizona has been better the last few weeks, but their defense is bad overall. Since week 7, they are currently they've only gone up since week 7. So that matchup's tough. I think they might try to shy away from Murphy Bunting and go to Jordan. I think Pittman's out of the equation for this one for me. Yeah, I'm going to go Jalen Warren here. I prefer usually the running back, especially a pass catcher in full PPR in those situations. So let's go to Ray. He goes Brian Robinson, Ridley or White full PPR. I like White. I like White in that scenario. I have Rashad White at, I was doing rankings before. I have right at 24. I have Robinson at 30. And then Ridley is tough for me. Commanders are a good matchup. So it's really last 4 weeks, Commanders are 7th best against the wide receiver in fantasy points allowed. I'm gonna go White. I think he is a better option overall. So I'm gonna go with that. Raven goes, thanks, Classic Mike. I appreciate it, bro. That's what I'm here for. Here to help you out there, brother. Anything you need. Jacob Hickson Ball, what's going on, man? He goes, Pickens or Hubbard for the flex. Jacob, let me know if it's full or half. If it's half, I'm gonna probably lean Hubbard. If it's full, I might lean Pickens. That matchup is just too good to too good to give up. 23rd against the wide receiver. Pickens has been playing well. Full PPR, I like him just a smidge better. Tampa Bay is also beatable on the ground as well. 25th against the running back. So you can't go wrong, in my opinion. I think Hubbard is probably the better play overall for both of them. It's full. I think I'm going to go Hubbard. Still involved in the passing game, still out there chugging it. I'd rather have the guaranteed touch compared to the unknown in most situations. If you have the ability to play Hubbard over a guy like Pickens, I'm taking it. I do like Pickens, though. It's a good matchup for him. But I do think Hubbard is in a better scenario here. So, yeah, let's go Hubbard for this one. Sorry, just reading through. Scott White, what's going on, Scott? Great to have you here. Like I said, if you're new to the show, please make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to our channel as well as our affiliate channels as well. Scott White goes, wonder if Fields will get the start next week if Russ had a bad game today. It's a great question. I don't think so. I think unless there's an injury to one of the two, they're not going to change. Tomlin has been very, regimented in what's been going on. Russ stepped up when Fields was hurt and everything worked out. So I think barring injury, I think it's going to have to go. It's going to have to stay as is for now. Hubbard, Harrison, or Taysom? Ew, full PPR. Okay, so this one I like a little bit more for Harrison. They were talking this morning to Jason Gadden or John Gadden. No, Jason. And they were saying the offense is gonna go through Harrison today. I like it. They're gonna go through Harrison today, going against Minnesota. Minnesota has on the year been very bad against the wide receiver. They are currently 24th in the last 4 weeks. They were, that's down from 31st, through the last 12 weeks. So they've been going up a little bit, but it's just their pass rush. Man-to-man, Harris has the ability to do well. I love Taysom Hill. I love Chuba Hubbard. I think both these matchups are good. I'm gonna go with Harrison, especially in full. Geno Smith or Aaron Rodgers? Geno. I'm going to go Geno here. He throws the ball more, gets the ball more involved. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. It's so hard to watch. So I have Bucky going in that white team. All right, so let's see what you had here. Okay, so you're looking at White, Robinson, or Ridley. I'm not against playing Robinson over White if you want to diversify. Tennessee is 14th against the running back the last 4 weeks. So they have slowly gone down. Let's see, week 6. Where are they? Week 6, they were 11th. Week 7, they were 18th. They went down. And now they're back up. So now they're back up a little bit. They went to 14. Yeah, I'm not against Brian Robinson Jr. just because of the volume. They're definitely going to get McNichols involved. Yeah, go with Robinson here. I do like White though. I think you can get a good amount out of that one either way. But I like that one. I don't mind having Brian Robinson Jr. there. So Neanderthal goes, sitting tight end 1 is so hard in a guillotine. 2 very hard decisions. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Honestly, I get the conundrum. The matchup's better for Otten. Kittle is, like I said, it's going to be bad weather. Quarterback's hurt compared to good quarterback, good matchup. Better weather. It's just, yeah. Yeah. Just like what, Ortiz says here in the NFL, but Purdy beat up in a weather game. It's going to be a rough one. He could have a great game, but I get guillotine. I get it. So Scott White goes, started Abdullah and kind of regret it now. But 16-team full PPR league. Could have done Disley, Alec Pierce, Booty. Man, that sucks. But I get it. Alec Pierce probably would have been my next best. Disley might have been a close second. But I hear you. That's tough, man. I'm in a 14-team full PPR. It's a points league, and I'm in 6th. So I've a lot of my decisions are already made for me. So I already have everybody in. I had a couple of guys go from the Giants game where I had, Wan'Dale Robinson go and things like that. So I'm having a rough day too there. Marcos goes, McLaren or JSN full P. It's JSN. I don't even have to think that one. JSN. JSN has, I think hold on. I want to give you the correct statistics here. So I'm going to customize my weeks here. So let's go week 8, just because I like going from the week that we're about 4 weeks out is usually what I like to look at. And let's look at full PPR here. Jackson Smith of Njigba, good old JSN, has been wide receiver 6 in full PPR for the last 4 weeks. That's all I got to tell you. You should be playing him every week. And if let's just say I bring it down to week 7, he's still wide receiver 6. Bring it down to week 6, he's been wide receiver 7. Bring it down to week 5, wide receiver 8. I mean, I know it's going down, but that's because I'm adding weeks to it. He's just been getting better. JSN until further notice. Justin goes, should I start Hubbard over Kenneth Walker and put Pickens in the flex? No. No. Kenneth Walker should be in your starting lineup in any given week. He is a running back 1 all weeks of the year. So to give you perspective, he missed 2 weeks on the year. He's running back 14 since week 5. So let's get him since week 8. Well, he hasn't been doing better, but he actually went down. But I do like Kenneth Walker a lot in this matchup against the Jets. No CJ Mosley. That's a huge part of that. I am going Walker over Hubbard. Pure volume in this case. 16, 14, 25 the last 3 weeks. He was on a bye in week 10. He's been 13 points steady for the last few weeks. I like that way better overall. So yeah, giving it to Kenneth Walker. So Ray goes, would you use Harrison over Pickens in that same league full? Yes. I have Harrison. I have to move him around a little bit, but if memory serves me, where is he? I have him at 19, and I should have him higher, to be quite honest. Yeah. I'm at like 12 now after tweaking things a little bit. Actually, more JSN should be higher. Yeah, I'm at 14, Pickens at 17. Yeah, I think I would play Harrison over Pickens. Yep. McBride or BTJ. The fact that you have to play McBride as a flex option is just annoying. And I only mean that in the best way possible there, Perry. Why aren't you playing him in the tight end spot? Did you play Sam Laporta or something? I'm wondering if you played Sam Laporta in your Thursday night spot to have McBride be a flex option for you, or it's a no tight end league. Well, those leagues are annoying. I'm just a big fan of tight end league. I'm a big fan of the kicker and defense. Don't mind me. Wow. Most situations, I'm going to tell you play the wide receiver over the tight end, but McBride, man, they involve him a lot. It's hard for me to tell you to sit McBride. The matchup's decent for the Texans. And BTJ had a whole week off. Texans are 28th against the pass. So Perry goes, I have Bowers, McBride, Jonnu at tight end. I do wish there was a tight end spot because I feel like I have to flex them every week. Holy shit. You should flex all three of them every week. That's what I would do. And if it's full PPR, I definitely like McBride a little bit more than BTJ. But BTJ, man, that matchup is good for him. Negative game script. Houston's favored by 3.5. Over-under is 44 for that game. Wow. Give me a tough one here. Arizona's game 45, so they're right next to each other. Both have the same concept. I'm assuming you already played Bowers and Jonnu, so I would be okay playing BTJ if I need to, but yeah, you might have to flex them every week. Yeah, I'm going to go McBride here. It's so hard for me to tell you that, but he's tight end one. Tight end one usually lands between, wide receiver two, roughly if they have the best week. And you have two of the best tight ends out there currently. Jonnu I think he was second to Brock this week or something like that. I didn't look at the numbers yet, but I do remember they both had a good week. So yeah, why not play McBride? At this point, you're already up. So I like McBride here. So Ray goes, okay, that changes it. Hubbard, Taysom, or Pickens in the flex. All right, so hold on. Let me get back to yours. He says, I also have Hopkins, Brian Robinson on the bench, but the tight ends have such a good floor. Yeah, they do. But you have Hopkins already played, though. So you're really picking between Brian Robinson, BTJ, and McBride. And I'm still leaning McBride, even though I like BTJ a lot. He has a good matchup. So I'm not against playing him. If you're like, no, I don't want to play all three tight ends, then play BTJ. You're already up on your tight end, numbers. So I'm not against playing BTJ at all. But McBride is probably the safer floor for sure. So if you, I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but it seems like you are currently ahead of the guy that you're playing. McBride might be the best one because you'll have a steady floor. It doesn't look like you need a lot of boom, if you will. So Ray goes, okay, changes to Hubbard, Taysom, or Pickens, flex full. And he says, Kittle for me in the Taysom league. Okay, so you have Kittle above Taysom. I'd probably still lean Hubbard over Pickens, and it's really just because I love the guarantee compared to the unknown. Russ is a good quarterback, so the unknown lowers just a little bit. Hubbard is guaranteed. He'll be getting 20 touches. Pickens, you'll see maybe half that, and that's on average. Bengals have been beatable through the air, 23rd so far the last 4 weeks. Tampa Bay has been bad against the running back. Yeah, I'm going Hubbard. Go Hubbard. It's a safer floor. It's definitely a safer floor. Now, my whole thing is for this question, Ray, my only big question is are you currently up or down in your particular matchup with the 4 games that went on already? Are you up or down? If you're down, go Pickens. If you're up, go Hubbard. That's how I would kind of rule it out. Taysom Hill, I love. We all know that, but I don't think he's worth it in this type of this type of environment. So you're up, play Hubbard. You have a safer floor. He has a better. He's definitely a safer floor. If you're up that much, you're better off running with a guy like Herbert or Chuba Hubbard because it just. You'll have a better scenario at the end of the day because even if Pickens goes off, like unless you're looking to get way more points and, if you're trying to play it safe, you're trying to get the win and move forward, it's Hubbard. If you're looking to try to win or, you needed that extra boost, then it's George Pickens because of his ability to get deep and his ability to catch the ball, and all that and going against a good matchup. I just like Hubbard because it's guaranteed. It's just guaranteed and safe. I'm always going to be the okay, so actually it's more of a tie than maybe Pickens. Like I said, that's how I would negotiate that is your feeling of your matchup. If it's close, you might want the boost, but if you're above, you want to keep it at a steady pace and that you're going to do well. I think both guys are going to do pretty good this week. I always feel comfortable. I always feel more comfortable playing a running back in scenarios that are full PPR that have a pass catcher, which Hubbard can be. So he goes, I'm up points, but he has more players, 51%. Then you might want the upside with Pickens. That feels a little bit better, if you will. I think that's a scenario that I'd be okay with overall. Like I said, they are currently 23rd against the wide receiver. If you look at Vegas, Cincinnati is favored by 360. It's the 46.5 over under. That means Steelers are going to be behind having to throw the ball. With the other matchup, Panthers are going to be, or the Bucks are favored by 6.5, and then it's 46. So the over-unders make me happy for both teams or both scenarios. The Steelers are going to probably need to use or pass the ball a little more. Yeah, go Pickens if you're in that scenario. If you were in the opposite scenario, I'd tell you Pickens too. But let's just say you were like 60%, winning, then I would go Hubbard. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Neanthro goes, would you play Kittle over Scary Terry in the flex and play Otten at tight end? Interesting. So San Francisco the last 4 weeks has been number 4 against tight ends. Fred Warner still playing great football, even though on a broken ankle. Just to tell you how good he's been playing. Tennessee Titans have been 6th best against the wide receiver. So both are tough matchups. Oh no, Buffalo. I was looking at Buffalo, right? No, not San Francisco. My bad. Buffalo's 14th compared to 6th. They even out. Yeah, I'm not against playing Kittle in that flex spot. I'm not against it. That's a tough one for me. It's very hard for me to tell you to play a tight end over a wide receiver in most scenarios. Terry McLaurin the last few weeks, let's look at his numbers to get an idea. He does have the bye week coming up. Just to be aware, I have Terry currently at 11 in my rankings, which is pretty high for a wide receiver overall. He's averaged in the last 4 weeks, let me see, 9, 11, 17. So averages 4 targets a game, roughly. Right? Am I doing math right? 17 by 4? Yeah. So about 4.5, roughly. 4.5 targets per week with 7, 6, 13, 4. 3 catches, but with 113 yards, 102 yards, 10 yards. So anytime he goes over 6, he does well. The narrative here is Washington's favored by 6. Buffalo is favored by 6. Yeah, I'm going to go Kittle. Go for it. I'm going to go Kittle based on the narratives, based on what I keep seeing. I mean, 3 right now, if you're looking at Terry McLaurin's projection, 4 targets, 3 catches, and 80 yards is my projection for him, roughly. And it's probably more on the lower end of that, maybe 60 to 40 or 60 to 80 yards, passing for McLaurin. When it comes to George Kittle, though, I mean, let's look at his numbers the last few weeks, and that's with Brandon Allen playing one of them. 6'6", let me see, 14, 28, 32. Right? 14, 18, 6, 24. So 24, 4 is 8. And then 12, 18, 21. Yeah. 4 is 5. Yeah. I mean, for Kittle, it's going to be 5 or 6 for 5 and 80 and a touchdown. He's got 3 touchdowns the last 3 weeks. Yeah, I'm going George Kittle. Play Kittle. That's not a bad option right there. Sorry that it took me a minute to do all the math. But yeah, that's what I would do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be wrapping this thing up. I got to get to my rosters as well. Hope everyone has a wonderful Week 13 matchup. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. I hope to, I always appreciate these weekends and reflect on things I'm thankful for. Always, first and foremost, thankful for my wonderful wife who I have in my life. She's fantastic. Always great to have her around, and she makes me happy. Thankful for this particular podcast where I get to talk to you guys every week and help you guys out with your fantasy lineup. So thank you for everybody that's out there that watches. Thank you for everybody that joined me today. Ray, Neanderthal, Joe, Perry, Marcos, Jacob, Neanderthal, Marcos, Scott, Raven Show, C-Day, Smitty, everybody that's been in the chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate what all you guys do. And make sure, as Joe says, make sure you guys hit that like moving forward. It helps us a ton for those, for that algorithm. Hope everybody has a wonderful week 13. We will see you soon. Hope you do. Sorry. I hate outros. I really do. Hope everyone has a good week 13, unless you're against me. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Wanted to write fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided.